Hey all, this is Altbeer, logging in for our weekly badge meeting. We skipped last week because I was at the 3000 Society Con, but I got to show off the Cowboys versus Dinosaurs badge there, and they turned out awesome. We'll get into all of that shortly. I'm just going to check to see if anyone from my badge team is on, and then maybe pull up some code. So yeah, one of the things that you'll notice if you want to check out the public page for this, the Cowboys versus Dinosaur webpage and repository is now public. So if you go to cowboys versus dinos.altbeer.us, this is the website that's part of the repository. And that ties to this repo, which was made public. So under my GitHub, we have Cowboys vs. Dinos, and you see all the stuff there. So yeah, it was really cool. We had a last minute push to get 30 badges soldered up for the con because we needed badges for the con, and then to get code that was working really well for the con. And so I think we succeeded in both of those goals. As far as the code, I did a cool little thing, and this isn't working, but okay, here we go. Yeah, so the camera badge Rev 1, I think, is the code. It's just an Arduino code, but it has it's a pretty big file. I didn't break up a lot of things, so it's like over 1,000 lines of code. But basically, it does several things. It oh, that's the camera badge. Damn it, that's the wrong badge. Go away. No, this is the badge. So it's CVDO2. Okay. Yeah, so once again, it's an Arduino INO file. And yeah, it's 1,300 lines of code, so it's pretty big. So yeah, what we did was work on just getting some blinky lights that are cool, but we also wanted to put some games on there. So we have all of our touch properties, and this badge has 5 touch sensors in it. And so we set up LEDs. We have 6 of them that are regular LEDs, 2-pin LEDs that we're doing PWM on to be able to pulse them slowly on and off. And then we have 6 NeoPixels on here. And then we have the 5 touch areas. And so I want to scroll down to some of the functions. See, I have lots of things to figure out what you're touching. So here's the stuff I want. So basically, based on the touches, it does different things. And for one of the buttons, when you touch it, it's going to launch a reaction time game on a long touch or on a short touch. This is just the long touch stuff. It just lights up some LEDs on a short touch. But if it is in the long touch mode where I see it exceed this loop threshold, that's where I run the reaction time game. And this one is the reaction time game is if you touch and hold the dinosaurs wording. And then we have on this button, this is a battery charge mode where you can turn off all the LEDs on the badge but still leave it turned on so it can charge the battery without annoying you with blinky lights. And then we did this mode for the it's not really a CTF, but it's basically we have a game on here. It's like a little choose your own adventure game that we set up. And then the last game is a flush card game. So going through these, we'll just walk through really quickly what these all do, and then I'll show you how they work. So this is all the regular LED functions, and then we get into the games towards the end. So here's the touched Cowboys. This is just when you touch it, it kind of like boops the Cowboys, lights up the cowboy faces, and no other lights on. Same thing with touch dinosaurs. It'll light up the dinosaur faces, nothing else on. If you touch the 3000, it'll just kind of blink the lights in a pattern for a minute. And then the reaction time game is that long press that I was talking about. That one, what it does is it's going to light up the LEDs that are at the top of the badge. These little 4 guys that are lighting up the suits, and it's going to pulse them on and off and on and off in order, and it's a random timing how long it stays up there. And what you have to try to do is press the dinosaurs button again to try to freeze it when all 4 are lit up. And it's not that difficult, but it does take a little timing skill to get it right. So that was a cute little dinosaur game, because you figure they have good reaction time. They're predators. This is just the battery all LED off. Okay, here's the flush card game. This one I spent way too much time trying to get random values that are not very random in Arduino code to be much more close to a real random, and it was maddening. But yeah, I'm basically using all kinds of inputs to generate random seeds at random times, and it's crazy. But the whole thing with this game is it's going to take the 5 LEDs that are in the center of the table, and it's going to light them up with up to 4 different colors. Like it'll either be red, green, blue, or purple. And I figured those 4 colors would represent 4 card suits. And so the goal of the game, every time you touch it, it shows you the 5 lights. And the goal of the game is to get all 5 lights to be the same color, just by touching it and getting random numbers. So yeah, that's kind of a fun game. Oh, it looks like we got someone online. Hey, how's it going? Just walking through the Cowboys vs. Dinosaur badge. So yeah, that's that code, and once again over here, that's the center lights in the table. So there was that game, and then the text adventure game got a little more complex because that one I'm turning on the Wi-Fi, setting up a wireless access point, and then loading a web page on it with a text adventure game. And so I did all of this in an Arduino library, so I could just write it and see. And so yeah, we have the web page info and stuff like that, and some of it you'll see there's multiple web pages here for 80 and 443. That's so that I could redirect it, where most of the times in IT you see redirects happening from 80 to 443. I didn't want to deal with certs, so I reversed this, and if you go to a web page on 443, it'll redirect you to 80. And I have it set up to where the DNS server is going to intercept any request and reply with the IP of my web server. So hopefully it's not quite a captive portal, but hopefully with the redirects and with the DNS intercepts, you shouldn't have to type in an IP address. You should just be able to go to a web page and have it launch. I have found some issues with that with testing, where if you had a web page you loaded recently, your device, whether it's a phone, PC, or whatever, has DNS cache for that. And so that's not going to go. It's not going to get DNS intercepted. It's not going to go to my web page that's on this thing. But if you go to a page that you haven't been to in a long time or never been to before, or a page that doesn't exist, it's going to send you to the web page on the text adventure. So yeah, I guess we'll show a couple of these now on the badge. All right, so here's the badge. Turn them on. I wonder if this would be better with the light off. Yeah, I think that works. So yeah, I have it set up to where if you touch Cowboys, it lights up the cowboy faces. See, and then if we touch dinosaurs, it lights up the dinosaur faces. And then if we touch 3000, it does this little blinky thing. And yeah, that's the 3 instant things. And then we'll go into the dinosaur mode first. So I have to hold it for about 20 seconds or so. It's 3 loops of the full LED cycle. So we'll do that until we see the 3000 Society logo on the right turn green like that. And now you can see it's pulsing. And the goal is to try to get them with all 4 lit up. And it's random intervals, so it's a little difficult, but not too difficult. It shouldn't take you too long to get it to work. And then if you want to exit this mode, you just do another long press on the dinosaurs, and it should exit us out of this. All right. Oh, looks like we have another badge team member join. So I'm just walking through some of the games on this Cowboys vs. Dinosaur badge. All right, so the Cowboys is the harder game. So I'm going to press and hold the Cowboys until it's like 20 seconds or 3 loops is up. And hopefully, since we have a badge team member here, you can tell me if you can actually see the stream.
Hello. Sorry I late.
Hello, can you see my stream?
Yeah.
Okay.
35 seconds.
Cool. So this is the Cowboys game mode, the flush card mode. And you can see it's just got this little like pulsing graphic in the middle until you press the Cowboys again. And so when I press the Cowboys, it lights up 5 LEDs. And I know it's hard to see on this camera, but there were 3 green, a blue, and a red. And that looks like a couple of purple, red, and blue. And so this one, I think I did the random number. I spent the right amount of time on it, even though it was a long time. It's actually pretty random. Is actually very difficult to get this one to actually give you a flush, just like it would be in real life. Although that one, 4 greens and a red, I was close. So yeah, and once again with this one, if we press and hold the Cowboys, it should go back to the regular badge mode. And there it is. And so there's that game. And then I'm not going to get into the other game because it would take a while for me to get my phone out and connect to the Wi-Fi. But basically, if you press and hold Society, that's where it's going to turn the 3000 Society logo light red. It'll launch the wireless access point, which is an open access point, has no password to connect to it, but obviously it doesn't have internet. So you connect to it, and the only thing you should get access to is the web server that it stood up with the text adventure game. And so that worked out really well, and I'm glad that we got that code knocked out and out of the way. And this badge is looking good now. So let's go back to our display. So yeah, and all of this is now public, so people can check out the website, can check out the repo for Cowboys vs. Dinosaurs. And the website has all of these games outlined as well. It also shows you how to charge the badge and how to turn the lights off that I was talking about. Some of the things that we did on the PCB actually worked out pretty good. So like the ESP dev board's built-in LED, you can have it do stuff and you'll see it on the back of the badge in this little hole. The battery charging light, you can see whether it's on or off. So yeah, it worked out pretty good.
I think it turned out really neat.
Yep. Yeah, and I had a couple of extras, so for you two that are on the call, you'll both get one of these because I know Scott, you messed up yours a little bit when we were soldering them, and I was going to use that as an example at DEF CON. So you'll get one of these other ones that we built, and Ninjishin, you'll get the other one. And so you guys will both have these next time I see you. So
Another
now
one
we
for
are
the
on
collection.
to our next badge, which is the Godzilla Versus. And I haven't gotten a whole lot done versus where we were last time, where we were talking about the shapes of the badges. I'm going to try to get more done on that in the next day or so, at least a rudimentary edge cuts to show in like a 3D viewer in KiCad what it's gonna roughly look like, even if there's changes. And the reason that I want to do that is because we have our Indiegogo campaign that we need to launch. I think we told everyone we were going to be launching this on like June 1st or 2nd, something like that. So yeah, that is coming up this weekend. So I can put a lot of information here about the Cowboys versus Dinosaur badge, but I really have nothing to put on here about um, the Godzilla badge. I'm trying to blank about the Godzilla badge. So need to get at least something down that can look cool to put in this. That way, it'll like look good. So that leads to the next thing that we need to talk about for the campaign. We need to talk about the perks and how we haven't defined any, I know. How we're going to do this. Where is my preview? There it is. Preview campaign. No, I don't want that. I wanted the pre-launch. There it is. Pre-launch page. Okay. Yeah, so I think in the pre-launch we didn't specify any quantities or anything. So that's something that we're going to need to finalize on. How many of each of these badges are we going to do? And one thing that I noticed right off the bat is that the Cowboys versus Dinosaur badge, because I used gold, like real gold, on the face of it, this is a lot more expensive than the other badge, because I was quoting out the Blue Team Village camera badge, which is about the same shape and style of PCB, and I assumed it would be close to the same cost, but that badge was about 25% cheaper than this Cowboys vs. Dinosaur badge is, and the only real difference is the gold. So I'm thinking because of that, I went ahead and ordered PCBs for these, but originally we were talking about maybe ordering 300 of these. I only ordered 200 because even at 200, that was $1,200. So we're talking like $5 a PCB.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it it helps because it like adds to like the rarity of it, if you will.
Yeah.
The exclusivity.
So assuming we have 200, and the reason I'm saying assuming we have 200 PCBs doesn't mean we have to build 200 kits or 200 badges, but let's assume we make them all into fully assembled badges or kits, right? We know we have to reserve 50 kits for Hacker Warehouse to sell at DEF CON. That leaves 150. Now, I typically give away quite a few badges at DEF CON, just freebies. And so I'm thinking we want at least 20 to 30 reserved as giveaways. Let's call it 30. Okay? That's 80 of our 200. That leaves us 120. Right? Am I doing math right? So
Yeah.
So,
I say yeah, but I'm also bad at math, so like I could be wrong.
so wait. 50 and 30 is 80, and yes, so that leaves us 120. Now, of that 120, we are probably going to sell some locally here in the DFW area, like at Dallas Hacker Association. Let's call that 20. That leaves us 100 for Indiegogo of the Cowboys versus Dinosaurs. Of that 100, how many are we going to do as kits and how many are we going to assemble, knowing that we would have to assemble them in time to ship them out to people that buy the shipping option for DEF CON. So that doesn't leave a lot of time. So I'm thinking if we have 100, maybe we don't put the whole 100 up there at first. Maybe we start with like 50 kits and 20 fully assembled. And then that leaves us 30 that we can figure out whether we want to turn those into kits or fully assembled later, because we can always add quantities to the perks later. You think that sounds like a reasonable amount? Okay.
Yeah, I think like 50 up front and 20 of those are pre-done.
Yeah. So 50 kits and 20 fully assembled, that's 70 going to Indiegogo. Now we also have the Godzilla Versus. And the Godzilla Versus, fully assembling it is going to be a lot more work, because it's going to be not only the badge, but 3 or 4 SAOs for the badge. So I really don't want to put more than 20 of that as fully assembled. And maybe we start with the same numbers for both. We start with 50 kits and 20 fully assembled for both. And then, because I haven't done the math on the Godzilla, it might be expensive as well, just because it's more PCBs, right? It's not one PCB like this one was. It's going to be multiple PCBs because of all the SAOs. So that might be expensive as well. So maybe I only end up running 200 of those, and we do the same thing. 50 for Hacker Warehouse, 50 kits, and 20 fully assembled for Indiegogo. Because, I mean, that would leave us on Indiegogo with 100 badges and 40 fully assembled. Now, we probably need to put some combinations in there, right? Like, what if people want to buy both as one perk? They just want to click one button.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll probably have to adjust those numbers to allow for that, right? So it'd be like 40 of one badge, 40 of the other badge, 20 assembled one badge, 20 assembled other badge, and 10 double kits. And then maybe 10 fully assembled double kits. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that.
Fully assembled double kits, I don't think that we need a whole lot of, because like that'd be expensive, and people don't like buying big number. If they see smaller number, it better, because brain unga bunga.
Yeah.
Small number better when spending money.
Yeah, because we're going to do the kits for 60 and the fully assembled for 120. And then the bundling both together, I don't even know if I want to do that on Indiegogo, because I don't plan on discounting it more. I mean, that's already a fairly reasonable price. So maybe we just don't do a dual option, and we say if you want both badges, you got to bid on both badges.
I think that works. I think if you really wanted to do a dual thing, it would have to be just kits, because I don't think that anybody would feel good buying 2 fully assembled, because it's such a big amount of money. And if we make them split it up into smaller purchases, they'll be more willing to buy multiple.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants both fully assembled, they can still do it by pledging for both of those perks, right?
Yeah. I think having...
I like that, because, I mean, it's a marketing thing at that point. You don't want to see a $240 option on there. But if people see 2 120 options that they like, they might get both of those. So, okay. I think that's good. I'll start working that up. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be ready to launch the page on the 1st or if it'll be on the 2nd. I don't even know what we promised people if we said it'd be on the 1st. That's why I was trying to look on this to see if we said the 1st.
That's what was talked about beforehand, yeah.
I thought we put a date in here somewhere on the pre-page.
Well, it's above the first picture.
Well, I'm in edit mode. Let me go to preview so I can see it the way people see it. Yes, June 1st. All right. Well, I will make every effort to get it out by June 1st then.
I think what you could do to help like mitigate the amount is if you do just the like rough outline, the rough edge cut outline.
Yeah.
Because it's in the shape of Godzilla's face.
Yeah.
You could just like black it out and then put a question mark like, ooh, who's it gonna be?
Okay.
How's it
Yeah,
gonna
maybe
look?
I'll just do something simple like that and start doing this.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing that may push us past June 1st. Even if I wanted to launch this right now, I have to go through their the Indiegogo finance stuff where they have to, like, even though I did another campaign and the bank account's the same, they don't care. They have to have me go through Stripe and verify my bank account and all that stuff. So I need to do that, and I'll probably try to do that first thing in the morning. That way it'll have time to process, and hopefully we can launch before midnight on the 1st. That way I keep my promise. So, yeah, all right. So I'll try to get that worked out then.
Yeah, I think hoping it'll work
Yeah.
and we'll be able to get it out on the 1st. But honestly, if it's just later in the day on the 1st, like 8 p.m. or something on the 1st, I don't think people will be like crazy upset.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were running this for more than 2 weeks. We were going to run it through the 18th, I think. This way, the campaign is running during both DHA and DC214, those two, the first 2 Wednesdays of the month. That way we can get the word out to everyone that if they want to buy one, we won't have any in hand at that point, so they can either wait and take their chances that we'll have some physically available for them to get, or they can just get on the Indiegogo and buy one that way. And then because the campaign closes on the 18th, then maybe the July 3rd and the whatever the next Wednesday in July is, we could actually hand deliver to people that bought them on Indiegogo that are local rather than shipping.
Yeah, I
So-
think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Always save on the shipping.
Yeah. Okay, and then for the shipping and handling fee, I was thinking a nice flat $20 handles that for those people that wanted to get the shipping option. And I'm not gonna charge them more if they bought 2 things. They just need one of those, and we'll package both their things together to ship out. But yeah, we just got to figure out how many are we going to ship out. How many can we get kits built in time to put in envelopes and address and mail out to people in time for DEF CON, versus the ones that we're going to hand out to people at DEF CON. We have like a whole extra month that we can work on building those kits or soldering those badges, right? So I'm thinking it's more the fully assembled that could be the issue, and so that's why I want to be very careful about how many fully assembled we put out as perks, because it could be all the shipping tokens go to fully assembled badges, and then we're in a position where we have 4 days to solder 40 badges, right? That could be painful. So yeah,
Not something we've failed at doing before, though.
That's true. I mean, we did, I think it was 25 badges that night in one night. So it's possible, but I just don't like to be in those situations where we have to do something like that. If we want to do something like that, that's different. So yeah, I think that's looking good. And as far as the Godzilla goes, yeah, this one we really need to get the ball rolling on, not just the outline for this campaign for this weekend. I really want to have prototypes ordered for it next week. That way, because you figure if we get a prototype placed on order, let's say we order prototypes on like the 6th, right, that Thursday. It'll take them until, even with expedited shipping, the 10th or 11th before we have them in hand. And then what if we need to make changes? What if there's problems, right? Then I need to use the rest of the week of the 10th to fix those problems, get a new prototype ordered on like the 14th that won't be here till the 18th. Well, at that point, I can make a big order, but a big order takes usually 10 days with the building and the shipping. And then we're looking at not getting product in hand until almost July 1st. And that is too late for us to build the kits for Hacker Warehouse. We really need to get them out the last week of June. The kits built and shipped to them. So that timing worries me, and that's why I'm thinking we got to get everything as far as art and circuit and PCB design, all of it done no later than like Wednesday of next week. That way I can order on Thursday. And I know most of that is on me. Because you guys aren't really doing the KiCad stuff, helping with that yet. So yeah, that's something that I'll be working on. And worst case scenario, maybe we only have Hacker Warehouse sell one of the 2 badges if it really comes down to that. We can talk with them about that as we get closer to the end of June. But I'm hopeful we can get it done. So
we can also, if push really comes to shove, we can sell some of the Godzilla badges at Hacker Warehouse without the SAO things, and just sell the SAOs separately.
But it's a matter of we won't have the PCBs to even give them the Godzilla badge, right?
True.
Yeah, so it's not like we can piecemeal it. It's kind of an all or nothing with that one, because the SAOs and the badge are so tied together, and they're all going to be ordered at the same time. So yeah, that one worries me a little bit, but it's not undoable. Whenever I think about this stuff, I always think back to the very first badge I did, the beer bottle badge. And the beer bottle badge was designed in like 2 days. It was ordered and in hand without a prototype a week later. And then we built kits and soldered for a few days. We had the whole thing ready, I think, in 10 days or less. And it was a good thing because we started the process 2 weeks before DEF CON. It was a last minute badge. But yeah.
It worked though.
Yep. So yeah, I could do that. Then we could do this. So
I believe in us.
So yeah, this is the big thing, the Indiegogo, June 1st. So yeah, we're gonna have to make some headway on this. And it doesn't look like Rex, or no, he's not on. I'll have to ping him if he's going to help manage this thing, because once it goes live, we're going to need somebody doing daily updates to this. And if I'm working on Godzilla badge stuff, I won't have time to log into this every day and answer people's questions and post updates. So, yeah, what was I going to look at? So here is the campaign. Just walk through some of this stuff. I already did a lot of the graphics for it. Yeah, I know funding. I was looking for, okay, 18 days, yeah. So that means the campaign would be scheduled to end on June 18th if we launch it on June 1st. So that would work. Then, yeah, we need to work on like a pitch video, but we can add this later. We can update the page later. So for right now, just a photo image should work for the initial launch. But yeah, we should probably get our heads together and figure out like a quick 2 to 3 minute video pitching this. Maybe we can take outtakes from this weekly stream to show quickly what it is we're doing. Now, one thing I already was messing with, I've changed this several times. I lowered the goal amount to like 8,000 with the minimum funding being 4. So this way, and it's flex funding, which means even if we don't make the full 8, we'll still get whatever we make. And minimum funding just means if we don't make at least that much, we might not be able to meet all of the people that ordered, but we might. And so I don't want to tell them that we can't. So I'll say if we get less, every effort will be made to fulfill. Obviously, if we only make like $1,000, when each of these PCBs cost over 1,000 just for the PCBs, that can be problematic, right? So, and then I called it out as like about 150 of each style, which I think is close to right. We're starting out with less than that, but we can add to the perks as we go. And then stickers. We need to get a sticker designed. Who wants to work on designing a sticker?
Do you have any thoughts on what you want? I mean, obviously Godzilla, but like...
No, so here's the thing. I was thinking, because we have 2 badges this year. We got the Cowboys versus Dinosaurs and the Godzilla. Godzilla's close enough to a dinosaur, we could probably merge the 2 on one sticker. Have like a cowboy on one side and Godzilla on the other. Kind of like a Godzilla versus the cowboy. And
I think that works.
yeah, and then throw my alt beer logo on there and something about badge life. I mean, I'm open to suggestions on this. I just know I don't have time to work stickers. So that's one that we're gonna have to work.
I can work on the sticker if you would like me to.
Okay.
I am capable of doing non-cutesy art, I promise.
And the advantage of the sticker is you're not limited to one color. You can do as many colors as you want.
True.
Yeah.
That helps a lot.
Yeah.
I can work up a sticker design. How soon would you need it? I know the stickers are faster to ship out.
Yeah, the stickers are faster, so I don't need that right away, but probably I'd say we need to get the design in the hands of the sticker producer by the time the campaign closes on the 18th. That way we have time to order them and get them in and pack them into the kits. So if like June 18th is our target for this campaign to end, let's also make that the target to have the art done and agreed upon for the sticker.
I think that works.
Okay. All right. Then perks. This is where I have to create some team. I think we got our team funding. This is where I got to fill in bank info. Let's see what's extras. There was some place here. It is custom URL. I really don't know what we should make the custom URL because Last year I just called it like future badge or something. This year with two different badges, we need a good custom URL, and this looks too long and ugly to me. And it's going to be at the Indiegogo, as you can see here, and it's slash and then your custom name for your campaign. So if you guys can think about custom names for this, that's something I'll need right away, because if we're going to launch the campaign on the 1st, I have to have this like by tomorrow. So let me just paste this in our badge chat.
Rootin' Tootin' Godzilla.
All right, so whatever we end up with that'll be the link that everyone goes to, so that'll be the link we advertise out to people. Zilla Boys. I like it. All right. And then settings. Yeah, so I think, I'll have to look into all these options. But I think that's where we're at with that. So, all right. Campaign launches in 2 days. Fun.
Don't freak out now.
I'm not freaking out. I am just a pessimist at heart, and so until things actually start to work out, I just expect them not to. That way, instead of disappointment, I can be pleasantly surprised.
I know sometimes on like Kickstarter, whenever I've done a couple of things, is they do, if you hit a certain money tier, is whenever you will unlock a new perk.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you thought about with like how many either like types of badges you would make?
Yeah, we could do something like that. Like if we meet the $8,000 goal, everyone will get this extra little thing for free, like an extra SAO or something. Yeah, we can totally do that. I think they call them stretch goals or something on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Indiegogo, I don't think has that, but I've seen other campaigns where they've put that in the text, saying, "Look, if we meet our goal, we can keep raising money, but at that point, everyone gets this extra little thing." So maybe we'll do something like that. Just add an SAO in there.
That or my other thought was like you don't do shipping until enough people do. Like if you don't hit shipping's not until like you hit 4,000.
I don't think I want to do that, because shipping, they're paying for the extra shipping and handling, right? So if we were making it as part of the normal perk, then yeah, that would make sense. But being that people have to select and agree to pay for the shipping, I don't think that should be an extra perk that only if we get this goal will you get this thing, right? Plus, the shipping helps us, even though it's a pain in the ass to try to build the kits way in advance and to get them shipped out to people. And I'm worried about the logistics. That's why I want to try to limit the number of shipped. It ultimately helps us in the end, because that's badges we don't have to load in a truck and take to Vegas with us. It's already in people's hands. It's not badges we have to hand to people at whatever badge drops we do and redeem for tickets or something. So I like the idea of shipping. The only reason I'm not just saying everyone can do shipping if they pay this is because I'm worried about the logistics. If we have hundreds of these and there's only 4 or 5 of us working on building kits and packaging them, knowing that we don't have all the way until DEF CON, we have to get those out at least like 3 weeks ahead of time. to people. That way they have time to receive them before they leave Vegas. Because a lot of people, they don't go just for DEF CON, right? They'll go a week, 10 days in advance for Black Hat and other training and stuff. So we need to make sure we are shipping the ship ones out at least 3 weeks before DEF CON. And we'll be doing priority mail, so they'll get it in 2 to 3 days after we ship it. But this way it leaves that buffer for people to get the badges in their hands before they hit a flight to go to Vegas.
And then that way they can also wear them around.
Well, yeah, especially if they're buying kits. Maybe they don't want to take all their soldering gear to Vegas or wait at the Solder Skills Village to solder their badge up. They want to solder it at home using their own equipment at home, and then they're bringing an assembled badge to DEF CON that they made at home. So that's another reason I want to give time. Oh, so much to do and to think about. It hurts. Oh, I should share with you. Let me turn this light back on over here. So I started packing up for the Cowboys vs. Dinosaurs badges because I started getting components early, right? So one of the things I did, remember what a pain in the ass it was to deal with the little screws and little things? What I started doing was pre-putting them together. That way, the screws are already attached to the thing. So all we got to do is count out 4 of these for each kit, and it already has the 8 screws. It'll make it so much easier to put the kits together this way. Yeah, so I've built enough of these now for like 100 badges, and I have boxes more of standoffs and screws to put together for more. And then I started looking at the wires. You know, the little wire here that goes into the battery connector and is going to connect to the badge, because we're separating the battery and the badge, right? The wires that I bought from China, I don't know if you can noticeably see a difference knowing that the key goes on top, right? The black, there it is. The black and the red are in the wrong place.
Oh no.
And I bought 600 of these.
Oh no.
So for it to plug in like this, it's going to confuse people, because they're going to see positive over here, or they're going to see positive and ground on the badge, right? So what I did was I found these cheap little sticker things, these cable labels that were on Amazon really cheap, along with a little white marker thing. And I marked red is actually ground, black is actually plus. And I've done this on about 150 of these little wires so far. So I'm going to do a lot more.
I have a weekend project.
Yeah. Well, luckily, because I work from home some days, while I'm on conference calls doing work stuff, I can be putting little pluses and grounds on the stickers, and then attaching them to wires and throw them in a thing, and it doesn't impact my work while I'm doing that. So that's kind of what I did earlier this week, and yeah, so we'll do more of that to where we have them all like this, because that way we can use this. Because I mean, these are just cables, right? They're just wire. Doesn't matter if it's colored black, red, or purple. Its function is determined by how you plug it in, right? So we're just gonna say fuck it, and black is now our positive wire, and red is now our ground wire. And then when we plug it into the PCB, I'll show you that. Yeah, so it's right here. I don't know. I need more light. Yeah, getting close-ups is hard. Come on. There we go. Yeah, so you can see the little plus and the ground here. So that'll determine, they'll put the black wire in the plus and the red wire in the ground. And then when they plug it in here, it's keyed, so they can't plug it in wrong. I'm not worried about that. But yeah, that way it'll have the right orientation when they plug it in. So yeah, fun little mistakes.
Would it have been easier to put like a single sticker over that, and then just like rewrite it?
What do you mean?
Like take one of your like green or red stickers, put it over where the key is on the back of the badge, and then just write plus and ground over the wrong sides, or the now correct sides.
Yeah, but then you're sticking something to the badge that has to be peeled off, and somebody may not notice it. And then what happens if somebody isn't using my wire? They're using one that's keyed correctly. And now they say, oh, I'm supposed to plug black here? Even though theirs is keyed the right way, they get shorted out by plugging it in backwards, right? So I thought it made more sense to do it on the actual piece of wire that's wrong, because we can have some that might have wires that are right. Because I did find some of the ones, because at this point I think it's too late to order those from China because they took a long time. But I found some on Amazon that are wired the correct way with the red on the left side. And the problem is they sell them in packs of 20 for almost $10. And we would need like 400 of them. That would get very expensive very quickly. But I do have some that I ordered when I was doing early testing, so maybe we'll use some of those, and then that doesn't apply to those, right? People can plug it in correctly if they have the right kind of wire. So that's why I decided to do it on the wire. You don't like my green and red cable labels?
I was just
I think
thinking.
they work.
Yeah, I was just thinking if we could just do one for the badge rather than one for each wire, it'd be quicker. But
Yeah, I mean, hey, the other issue with that is I don't have badges in hand. I would have to wait until I get the PCBs and then go through every PCB to do that. Where this, I have 600 of these wires in boxes next to me. I can be doing that for weeks and just a few a night and split out the load versus a rush job to get all the hundreds of them marked up, right? So, yeah, pros and cons. I see what you're thinking, though. It would be less work to do one sticker labeling it versus two, but it's a timing thing because we don't have the PCBs, but we have these. Cool. Well, I
Well,
think that was all
I'll
I had this week.
I'll also work on helping with some labels whenever I go over there
All right.
on Saturday.
Well, the other thing that we need to start doing is, and I'm waiting for some static bags to do this, but the actual dev boards, the ESP32 dev boards, I have hundreds of them sitting in bags that need to be flashed. We're not going to assemble the legs for them, but we need to cut open the little static bag it's in, which unfortunately they don't come in nice Ziploc ones like a Ziploc closed again. So I need to cut them open, pull them out, plug them in, flash them, rinse and repeat. But once it's out of its bag, I need to put it into another static bag then. And so I have some small Ziploc static bag, anti-static bags on order that should be here in a few days. And then we'll be ready to start flashing those. And yeah, I can, if you're going to be around, I can show you how to do the code flashing, because the flashing of the thing is actually pretty easy. And it doesn't require you to compile it first because the binary is there in the Git repo. So yeah, you're just telling it, upload this binary to this thing, and you do it with a little script that I wrote called upload. And yeah, so then it just works, and then it's done.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, any other questions from Badge Team before I wrap for tonight?
Nope, I think I'm good. We're
All
rushing
right.
it.
Yeah, we are rushing things. So, yes, definitely going to be interesting next 2 days. So, Indiegogo campaign will be live soon. And if anyone wants to check out the Badge website, once again, cowboys versus dinos.altbeer.us. So, with that, I am going to wrap up this stream. If any of you are watching that are not part of the Badge team, thank you for joining us, and stay tuned. We'll have more updates next week.